How's it going, everybody? It's Stas here. So the markets did pretty well today. The S&P and the Dow went up 0.3%. The NASDAQ 100 went up 0.2%. And the Russell didn't do that well. It went down 1%. So today we're going to break down some charts, my thoughts on the markets, stocks I'm looking at right now. So sit back, relax, take a sip of your coffee, go down below, get $50 from M1 Finance. All you have to do is use my link, deposit $100. And we each get $50 guaranteed. That's limited time. Link down below. Same with my Patreon. If you want all my real-time buys, sells, and call-outs, all of those are down below. And without further ado, let's get right into the video. So as you guys can see, SPY, like I said, did well. It went up 0.3%. And what do you know? It hit yet again another all-time high. That was hit at $434.76 about 10 minutes prior to the market closing. And if you guys remember, in yesterday's video, we were covering how one of two things were going to happen, right? We were either going to break out of the wedge in terms of the resistance of the wedge that we got ourselves into yesterday, as we saw a lot of choppiness in the markets, or we were going to dump under $430, break the low from yesterday, which is why I have my alert at 430, and it wasn't hit because we obviously didn't break under 430. And that's kind of what I was thinking, as again, we were stuck in this wedge throughout the day, and it looks like the bulls powered right through it. You know, we gapped up this morning. We ended up pulling back at about 11 a.m. on the East Coast. We hit 431, and then we powered right through the moving averages again, and we closed above both the 50 and the 180 moving averages here on the 5-day, 5-minute chart. So the bulls, although the rally's been crazy and I've been calling for a pullback, the bulls are still in control. They're still in charge, and they're pushing higher. Again, we hit a brand new all-time high today. So by the looks of it, we're not pulling down. If anything, we already got a pull down yesterday, the mini pullback, and now we're just trucking along. Bulls are in full force ahead. And when it comes to QQQ, which tracks the NASDAQ 100, I believe this also hit an all-time high today at 300, or was that yesterday? No, that was this morning at $362.76. And by the looks of it, look, we hit that all-time high at market open. We sold off at about 11:20 a.m. on the East Coast, so about 2 hours after the market open. And now we closed on an upswing. Look at this. On the 5-day, 5-minute, we hit that point at about 11:20 a.m., like I said, at a higher low, and we closed the day on an upswing. We pretty much, consolidated, held that higher low, and now I'm waiting to see if QQQ is either going to break out to maybe test the highs from earlier today at open, or do we end up collapsing under, let's say, 360 to end up filling the gap down to 356, which was the low point from yesterday. Maybe we end up going down 353, which was a low point from last week. And if I pull up the intraday chart, you guys can see we're in a wedge on this intraday chart for QQQ. Look, we're making higher lows and lower highs. So if you want to see direction in the very short term for tomorrow and for the rest of this week, quite honestly, we're going to watch this intraday chart for that. Are we going to break out of here like that, like I just indicated with my arrows? Or are we going to break under here to maybe fill the gap down to the low from today, low from yesterday at 355, and maybe from last week at 353? So this is what I'm watching overall when it comes to direction here today, guys. And yeah, I mean, the markets are just absolutely crushing it. If you have a portfolio out there, a long-term portfolio, you're doing well. I mean, unless you're in, the worst of the worst stocks. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can't even imagine how you couldn't be up in the past couple of weeks with this market, unless you're an AMC or something. Not bagging all you AMC guys, but AMC hasn't been doing well the past couple of weeks. So if you're all in that, maybe you're not doing well. But if you're diversified amongst the S&P, some NASDAQ 100 stocks, you are doing quite well. And I'm doing well as well, guys. I'm doing well. In fact, today I ended up day trading Virgin Galactic again, and I'm 3 for 3 in the past couple of trading days trading Virgin Galactic. And all you guys on my Patreon, you caught that move earlier. I made about 2% on that move today, which I'm taking all day, guys. 2% in a day. That is fantastic. So what are your thoughts? Let me know down below in the comments. Make sure to smash that like button if you guys are enjoying the video thus far. And let's talk about some stocks. Number one being Crispr Therapeutics, ticker symbol CRSP. And I believe it is for sure. One of Cathie Wood's stocks. She's into these disruptive stocks, these next generation companies, and this is one of them, ticker symbol CRSP. In fact, I was talking to one of my Patreon members. He's very into CRSP. He's been making a lot of money on it, and now that we've broken the downtrend, in fact, we have been, I'm very, interested in this myself, being more of a technical trader. In the past, from January to about June, the past 6 months, it was downtrending. We were in the descending triangle pattern that we see here on the 4-hour. We were trading under the moving averages, but like I said, the trend has slowly been shifting. We've broken out of the moving averages over the past couple of weeks. Now we're in early July, and we're seeing a bit of a pullback, which I'm liking because it got overheated. If you guys look here, Crispr went from 120 to 170 in the span of a month, so it saw a 30% gain there, and now we're down from 170 to about 140, so we lost about 16% of that, which net we're still up 14% in the past couple of weeks, which is awesome. And again, I'm thinking this dip is a buying opportunity potentially. As always, you must always do your own research, but for my analysis, my technical analysis, this is looking very good. We're moving out of the moving averages, golden cross, all that good stuff. And one thing worth mentioning is we are under the 50 moving average here on the 4-hour. So yes, we could head a bit lower, maybe to about 130, 135. If it gets even uglier, maybe 125, right around the 180 moving average here on the 4-hour, which would also be a pretty decent entry. So I'm watching Crispr, and if you guys didn't know, this is a gene editing company. Go on Yahoo Finance, and pro tip here, I'm sure a lot of you guys know this, but if you go on Yahoo Finance, you type in any stock you want out there, it's going to give you a huge description of what the stock does. So if you're confused on these new next generation companies like Crispr, like a lot of the other ones that Cathie Wood buys, and don't get me wrong, I was confused on a lot of these, and I'm still confused on a lot of the genomic stocks, these crazy next generation stocks, but they're a gene editing company. They focus on developing transformative gene-based medicines for serious human diseases, and I'm not exactly sure what the market cap is. Let me see if I could pull up this on Yahoo Finance right now, guys. Bear with me for a second. It's got to be a $5 billion market cap, not even. Okay, it's $11.4 billion. So it's up there. I mean, it's not a large cap by any stretch of the imagination, but it is $11 billion, so you're going to have to look at that not only from a technical basis, but also from a fundamental perspective if you want to buy this and hold it long term. But for me, I'm not looking at it as a long-term play. I'm more looking at it as a trade, and again, I'm liking this dip on Crispr, so I'm going to be watching it. And AMD is another one that I'm in as a long-term play. I'm in this at $77 and I believe 60 to 80 cents, something like that. And we got way ahead of ourselves. I mean, AMD in the past month or two is up. It was up 22%, and today it gave back 4%, dropped about 4% today. And overall, it's down about 6% from the recent high of about $95, $96 per share. And like I said, it got ahead of itself, and I'm very happy for this pullback. In fact, and again, I'm not a financial advisor, guys, I can't say that enough, I'm looking at this as a potential entry point. I'm not necessarily going to add more to my position here because I'm in at 77, so I'm already up about $13 per share. So I might need to see a dip into the mid to low 80s for me to even consider adding more. But if you're not in it, this could be a decent opportunity right around the 50 moving average here on the 4-hour chart, right around the high from the end of April. It was $89.90. If we end up holding that, maybe we rally and see a nice move off of there back to the mid to high 90s. So I'm looking at this AMD dip. I'm intrigued by it, but I do want to give it a couple of days to play out because as of now, it's still a falling knife. We haven't really confirmed the bounce. We have 2 red candlesticks here from today's session on the 4-hour chart. So I'm going to give it a couple of days. If we consolidate at 89, 90, maybe even at 86, 87, that could end up opening up an opportunity. So I like AMD on this dip. I'm not panicking whatsoever. It's simply profit taking. It simply got ahead of itself. And we also see Urban Outfitters, URBN. Excuse me, guys. My throat today. It's been pretty, geez, I can't even talk. Let me take a sip of my coffee real quick, guys. But anyway, yeah, Urban Outfitters ended up going down about 3% today. There we go. My voice is back. Thank God. Urban Outfitters, guys, down 3% today. And this is one we called out a couple of weeks ago. I mean, we were talking about it as it was consolidating within this wedge on the 4-hour chart. I was like, look, guys, if this breaks out of the wedge, look for the gap up to 42, which was the high from the middle of March. And what do you know? We did exactly that. I didn't play it. Full disclosure, I didn't play it. But now we're selling off down about $4 per share from that $42 hit. And we're down about 8%. Now I'm considering playing it, maybe as a bounce back play right around the 180 SMA here on the 4-hour chart, as it is pretty oversold after that 8% drop. So I'm looking at Urban Outfitters as a continuation play, but the second it breaks under, let's say 38, down to 36, 37, I'm not going to be as interested because it might collapse even further from there to the lower 30s, which won't be a great momentum continuation play. But as long as it's over 38, 39, I'm thinking there's more upside back to the 42 level. So I'm watching Urban Outfitters. Snapchat is another one, SNAP, which got ahead of itself. I'm not going to lie. This went from $50 in the middle of May all the way to about 70 just a couple days ago. So it ran up 30% in 2 months, and today it went down about 6%. So it gave back a lot of that gain, but overall it's still breaking out. Look, we broke above 65. We traded at 70, like I said, and now we're pulling back to retest 65, which was that solid resistance from the beginning of March throughout the beginning towards the middle, more towards the middle, towards the end, actually, of June. So 3 months, we saw 65 as a big sticking point. We broke out of it. Now we're pulling back down to test 65 as a new support. Does this hold? I think there's a good chance of it. RSI is at 30, so it's super oversold. And listen, even if it doesn't hold, maybe we don't hold 65. Maybe we go down to 62, right around the 180 SMA here on the 4-hour. Either way, these are going to be pretty interesting entry points, whether it's 62, 65. I'm liking it on Snap. And honestly, the way I enter my swing trades when I'm swing trading is I don't go all in at once. So let's say, for example, I'm looking at Snapchat. I have $20,000, right, that I want to put in Snapchat. I'm not going to put $20K right off the bat. Maybe I put in $7.5K here at 65. Maybe I put in another $7.5K at 63, so I'm in with 15 grand, and then maybe I put in the remaining 5 at $62 or $61.50, and that's how I build my swings, and that's what I do with my long-term positions as well. But of course, that's more stretched out. If I'm looking at a long-term position, I'm not going all in at once. I'm dollar cost averaging over time, and every month, every week, every quarter. It really depends. So that's kind of my strategy there when it comes to Snapchat. Hypothetically, that is what I would do. And Coinbase is another one that's crushing it today. And this is one of my long-term positions. And I have to double check what my average on this is. I think it's like 290 or something. I'm down on it. I'm down like 10-15%. So if I'm down 15%, yeah, that's going to put me right at about 290. So yeah, I'm in this at about 290 something. I'll double check that. I'll mention it in one of the next videos. So yeah, Coinbase is doing well now. It went up 7%. It went up $17 per share. I'm not exactly sure why it did. Maybe there's a catalyst I'm missing. Let's pull up this here. Okay, Oppenheimer adjusted Coinbase price target from 434 to 444, so it upped it by $10. Big deal, guys. They're maintaining an outperform rating. And I was looking at Coinbase earlier, and by the way, you guys can get $10 for free from Coinbase down below. It's not like Bitcoin's doing that crazy today. Bitcoin's up 1.8%. We have Ethereum up 2%. What else here? Binance Coin's up 5.7%. The good old Dogecoin's down 0.4%. So it's not like we're seeing a massive spike in crypto. But hey, we're up in Coinbase 7% on the day. So I'm happy about that. And it looks like the trend overall is trying to shift, which is a good sign. We went from trading under the moving averages for months, guys, to now we're trading above the moving averages. In fact, we held that 50 and the 180 at a higher low today, or not even a higher low if you look at the past couple of days of trading ever since the end of June. We held at a higher low, we ripped out, and now by the looks of it, this stock wants to test the high from last week at about $262 per share. So I'm looking at that for Coinbase. I feel like there could be more upside in this in the short term. And of course, in the long term, I believe there is a lot of upside, which is why I'm invested in this company. And I just think when it comes to, this is my personal opinion, guys. Hate me if you want. But when it comes to investing in cryptocurrency, sure, owning Bitcoin, Ethereum, that's great, right? Go ahead, do that. I own Bitcoin. But in the stock market, I think this is better, Coinbase, than investing in something more speculative like Voyager, more speculative like Riot or Mara. I just feel more comfortable investing in Coinbase. In my opinion, it's the best out there when it comes to the brand name, execution. I just haven't really had problems with Coinbase. That's just my experience, and they do make a lot of money. And I've mentioned this before, Voyager, guys, I'm not throwing them under the bus, but I made an account with them 3 months ago, and I still have not been approved. So as a customer, I don't like that. They should have approved me already. I think there's no excuse for that, and I actually deleted the app. So whatever, screw it. I'm sticking to Coinbase, guys. And I wasn't really looking to transfer from Coinbase to Voyager. I just wanted to check it out because that's how I am. I check things out. I try them before I talk about them here and before I invest in them. And it just didn't work out. And I know with all the, crypto drops, there was a crash recently, guys. I mean, Voyager went down. I'm sure Coinbase was having problems, but Voyager got hit even harder. So I think Coinbase is the best right now, and that's not to say that Voyager can't come back in 2, 3, 5 years and beat Coinbase, because that's definitely possible. Anything is possible, but I'm looking at it right now. I believe Coinbase is the best, and it did very well today. So we're watching Coinbase. I'm watching IBM as well, which is International Business Machines here, guys. This one had a bit of a slip up the other day. I think some executive stepped down, or there was some crazy crap going on. IBM shuffles executive ranks with departure of the president. Email server snafu, which I have no idea what that even means. I guess there was something with their email server. I don't know. But IBM, the stock tanked that day from 147 to 139. It dropped 5%. And today it went up about 1%. It looks like it's rebounding at about $137, which was resistance a couple months ago. And if I show you guys the yearly chart here, you guys can see that 137 was resistance a bunch in the past couple of months. prior to April. So I feel like buyers will step in, whether it's 137, 130. In general, I feel like the 130s will be bought up here on IBM. It's already down about 10%, so it's in correction territory when it comes down to its recent price of 152. So watch out for this. Once the dust settles, which it ultimately will, it always does for the most part, I feel like buyers will step in. And we do have earnings coming up in about 12 days, exactly 12 days here. So that's going to be interesting for IBM. So I'm watching out for that. And Starbucks is the last one for today, guys, which broke out. Well, we broke out a couple days ago before or after I called it out. If you guys remember, I believe last week I talked about Starbucks when it was still trading within this wedge. And since then, we broke 112. Now we're trading at 117. We're up 1.2% today. We're above the moving averages. We're seeing a golden cross. All these good signs of the continuation of the uptrend. But now we're just a little overbought. So I feel like any pullback I see here, I will consider an entry on Starbucks, whether it's 114, 115. I just want to see a bit of give here, a little bit of a pullback, mini pullback before entering along this breakout. And by the looks of it, guys, and as long as the markets don't collapse or we don't see a massive pullback, by the looks of it, I think Starbucks could take those highs out of 118, 119, hit a fresh all-time high, and just rip higher, whether it's 120, 125. I think there's more upside. So I'm watching out for Starbucks. And one thing worth mentioning here is Alibaba, guys. Alibaba is Chinese company. It's been getting slammed, and of course there's a lot of inherent risk with investing in companies outside of the US, especially Chinese companies, and I'm very aware of that. But the PE on this is 24 now, guys, and with the growth that this company's been seeing, it's just ridiculous growth. This has to pop in people's heads as a potential value play here. And even if it gets to 20, especially if it gets to 20, under 20p, this is one that I might have to take a flyer position on, because I owned it in the past. I made money. I sold out. Now I feel like the valuation is getting attractive for a re-entry. And somebody mentioned this in the Discord chat today, which is 100% free. Link down below. Check it out. And they mentioned how they're looking to buy leaps on Alibaba, not to tie up a lot of capital, which is smart, because I don't want to tie up 10, 20, 30K in Alibaba right now, but I wouldn't mind tying up, let's say, $5,000 in some longer term options, or $10,000. I haven't really checked the options chain. I'm not sure how much those cost right now, but yeah, I feel like that'd be a good strategy. 3 years out, buying some calls, let's say, that expire at 250, 300 even, maybe even 225. I don't know. It depends on what you want to do, but for me, that's kind of what I'm looking at, and I think that's it's smart looking at leaps here. So that's it. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe, drop me a comment down below. Check out my Patreon if you want all my real-time buys, sells, call-outs. If you want a morning update video, check out the top tier on Patreon. I make a morning video every day talking about breakout stocks, my game plan, news, and so forth. That's on Patreon. Link down below, or you guys can go to stocksurfest.com/Patreon and make sure to get your $50 from M1 Finance. This is guaranteed $50, guys. All you have to do is use my link, deposit $100, and we each get $50 to invest with. That's literally free money, and you guys can get an additional 2 stocks from Webull up to $1,600 with a deposit of $100. All of those are linked down below, and no joke, you can make $70 right now by signing up to M1 Finance and Webull. So check all that stuff out. I'll catch you all in the next video, which I did make a video earlier talking about other beaten down stocks. Check that out. I'll link it down below. I'll pop it up here. I'll see you guys there. Thanks for tuning in again. As always, keep crushing the markets. Peace out.